I'm Ali GREYMOND, the founder of the GREYMOND method. I am one of the original coaches to help people fully recover from OCD, and after years of experience and thousands of clients, my message to you is still the same. You can fully recover from OCD. On this channel, I show you how. But before we start, I just wanted to remind you that I do daily OCD recovery videos, and if you don't want to miss one, hit the subscribe button now. When I first start talking to clients, a common question I get is, I read online that you can't recover from OCD. Will I be able to recover? And I just wanted to clarify this one more time in case you didn't see my earlier videos, because there's a lot of new people watching. Most people online are using the traditional methods to, I don't even want to say the word recover from OCD, to keep OCD chronic, let's call it. Hierarchy, scripting, on-purpose exposure. The Trinity, let's call it. The problem with these methods is it always cherry picks a specific theme, a specific exposure. And you have to understand, you probably already know this, that OCD morphs themes. So if it morphs, what you are doing today, like let's say you are working to get rid of, working to get rid of a thought is already a compulsion, by the way, FYI. But if you are working to get rid of a thought or get rid of a theme or get rid of a feeling, you're performing a compulsion, which makes OCD worse. If that's your actual intent, right? You're making OCD worse by showing your brain that you are afraid and that you gotta get rid of it. So if you're scripting with an intent to get rid of the thought, you're actually performing a compulsion. So just, again, this is a side note. But when you are looking at OCD through the lens of, if I just get rid of this theme, another one will never come in, you are in for a rude awakening. Because what's going to happen is another theme will come in. And when it does, you're going to be at square one, because your therapist just told you how to get rid of, I don't know, theme one, whatever, harm OCD theme. And now you got relationship OCD theme, and you're at square one. And you're chronic, and you're stuck for life, and you're paying for life for therapy where you're cherry picking from one thing to another. I'm just saying. It doesn't make sense. So the people online, that's what they're talking about. I'm stuck, I'm doing exposures, I'm doing scripting, I'm, let's say, whatever these traditional methods that they're doing, I'm not getting better. Of course you're not getting better. It's the method. How can you possibly get better by cherry picking? Your brain is very capable of sending you something else. We all know that. Versus if you do the GREYMOND method, if you track, if you look at the problem as an overall problem of, let's say, compulsions or overthinking, rumination, right? That's the problem. And we reduce that little by little, each day, going through it like a tank, just mowing it down more and more each day. Your OCD has nowhere to run. It doesn't matter if tomorrow is going to be relationship OCD or religious OCD or magical thinking OCD or contamination OCD. You have a quota, you have tracking, you have a quota, you're going to fulfill that quota to the best of your ability with setbacks, of course, whatever. But you're going to fulfill that quota. Do you see how that's different? But a lot of the time, because the traditional method of OCD recovery has been popularized since, I don't know, the 80s apparently, then that's what most people are doing, because that's what most doctors and therapists have been taught in school. So when you are looking online and people are complaining that they can't recover, it's a completely different method, completely different approach to OCD recovery. And I would actually say a little bit more. I always say a little bit more. But I would say a little bit more that before you developed OCD, you were not okay. You were already having a lot of sensitivity, a lot of overthink. If your OCD is pure type, probably you were and still are overthinking real life as well. So step one, track and reduce what you are doing in terms of OCD. But in that, also as a step 2, include real life stuff. So don't never ever cherry pick. Don't cherry pick, oh, this is my harm OCD, so I'm going to include that in the tracking, right? If you're using the GREYMOND method, which I'm not telling you because it's mine. I'm telling you because it works. It will get you out of the hell that you are in. I'm telling you 100%. I do this every day with clients. But anyway, you're going to track. When you track, you're going to include not only your harm, let's say OCD or relationship OCD, but you're also going to include, well, I overthought this and we had a situation at work and then I got into an argument with somebody and I'm overthinking all that as well, because one overthinking will spill into another overthinking. We need to change how your brain operates, which means no overthinking is allowed. Tell me one time in your life where overthinking has really helped you. I can't think of one. Maybe there was one at some point, but it's very, very, very rare. So you can take that chance and say, you know what? I'm done putting myself through this in life, and I'm not going to let myself overthink anything anymore. And track it all as one. Don't track, oh, this is just my OCD tracker. That's your tracker to stop overthinking across the board for everything. And that is full recovery. Not this shaky from one theme to another, because in the tracker, if you notice in the app, we're not counting which theme is what. So we're not saying this theme is this and this theme is that and this is my thought of the day. We're not doing any of that. Just the facts, ma'am. How much did you ruminate? How many compulsions you did? How many avoidances? Just the facts. And that way, your OCD has nowhere to run because every day you're reducing. Do you see how this method is a lot different than one exposure a day to one specific theme, which will keep you chronic? That's the difference. And another side note is, of course, I've been doing this for years. I've created this method, so they can't even use it because I will sue them. Because I get flanked for talking and saying what I'm saying, thousands of videos at this point from literally most therapists, because they don't like me saying this stuff. They would rather you happily do exposures and hierarchy for years and years. I don't want you to have this for years and years. You don't need to. You can recover, you can get better, but it will take work. There's no magic here. You are the magic. You gotta do this work. Little by little, with clients, a lot of the times they start out in a really bad situation. By the time they come to me, they're usually in a really bad situation because so much time has gone by going from doctor to doctor. Nobody is helping, the usual story. And by the time they come to me, they're pretty bad. And they're like, Ali, I can't stop. I can't stop thinking even for, a short little time. I'm like, well, how about just a little bit, right? Just something. And then build on that each day. A lot of the times, personality with people, of people who have OCD is generally black and white. I'm a little bit like that as well. But you can't look at this as black and white. You need to look at this as just a little teeny tiny step each day without excuses. And seeing that, and again, tracking helps you stay accountable. It helps you see your overall progress. It helps you to see that, hey, when I reduced compulsions, when I reduced rumination, look at how much my anxiety went down. This works, but you gotta do this. It will not work with you just listening and then not doing anything about it. But if you put a little bit of effort, and the good thing about OCD recovery is it doesn't actually take too much of your time. Doing it like this, it doesn't really take too much of your time, because the whole point is to ignore the thoughts. Don't let yourself lay there and ruminate, and saving you time right there, right? Or sit there and ruminate. But go on with your day. Go on with your life. Show your brain that you don't care. Don't tell it. Don't say, I'm choosing not to care. Okay, you can say it, but actually push through and choose in real life. Show it, right? In how you're acting and how you look even. It's very important. If you took a shower, you look nice, you smell fresh, you're going to feel better. Versus if you rolled out of bed, sat on the couch and ruminated, right? And we've all been there. But those little changes add up. And if you keep up with routine, keep up with just a little bit of a reduction, I promise you, you will fully recover. And not only will you fully recover from OCD, where nobody ever would be able to diagnose you with OCD because you're fine, but also you will fix that underlying sensitivity that was plaguing you probably from the very beginning. And that is actually, in my eyes, that underlying sensitivity, to fix that is more important than OCD, because if you fix that, then you're not in danger of developing OCD again. Let's say some other life stressor comes in and then your OCD comes back up. It won't, because you changed how you respond to stressful situations, right? And also your life gets a lot better. So you are not this sensitive, easily hurt, easily bothered person. And once you are not that, in that mindset, you don't have that reaction pattern, if you will, your whole life starts to change. How you operate changes, how you work changes, your relationships change massively in the best way possible. If you like this video, please share, subscribe, tell other people about this method, because this actually works. I will leave the links below for the app. If you want to book a talk with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com, or also I will leave it below. I will see you tomorrow.